I am a connoisseur of mayo. And when it comes to rifles, it's gonna be the M4, hands down, no questions asked. I don't wanna hear it. But when it comes to pistols, it's the Hi-Capa. And is this the best Hi-Capa ever made from a factory? Let's find out. What's going on, you guys? My name is Cisco, and today we are going to be taking a look at the new Arcturus Vanguard Hi-Capa. Now, if you don't know about Arcturus, they are a relatively new airsoft company, considering that most airsoft companies have existed for 20 plus years. But if I have to sum up Arcturus into one word, that word would have to be quality.
Nice.
Arcturus has high quality M4s, high quality AEGs. We can't forget about their PPs. I'm talking about their PP19s, you nasty. They have high quality PPs and some of the longest PPs on the market. But Arcturus has decided to dive into the gas blowback world with their Vanguard Hi-Capas. Now I have to ask, will their introduction into the gas blowback world be quality? Today we're going to be taking a look at the Arcturus Vanguard 4.3 Hi-Capa. But the Vanguard is actually going to be a line offered by Arcturus. They're going to have 4.3 and 5.1 barrel lengths in a different amalgamation of combinations. Some are going to have a compensator, some without a compensator, some are going to be optics cut, some without optics, some are going to come with an optic. So I'm not going to be covering all of that. We're going to be taking a look at the 4.3 Vanguard with the optics plate included. First, let's talk about the externals. Right off the bat, this gun is stylish. Starting off with the slide, it does have these aggressive cuts across the entire slide, which removes material to help lighten it up, but also gives it a sleek yet aggressive look. Going down to the frame, it does look pretty standard, but I don't find that to be a bad thing. I actually really like it, but it does already come cut with a Picatinny rail, which is very nice for mounting accessories. Moving on to the grip, it does have a double undercut trigger guard, which is very nice. It makes it more comfortable to hold, and it also is a lot slimmer in the grip compared to a standard Marui Hi-Capa, which is good for me because I have short fingers. It just feels a little bit better to hold in my hand. The texturing on it, it's not bad. It's a good grip, but it's not like anything like a stippling where it kind of digs into your hand so it's not moving out of place. One of the biggest features that I noticed externally is that it has a pinned beaver safety, which is super nice. You don't have to completely grip the gun, which may be a con for you, but this is actually how a lot of real competition shooters have their 2011 Hi-Capas set up. So I do find that to be a nice feature. And then, of course, it does have a flat face trigger, which is very comfortable to shoot. It does have an enlarged magazine release, which also includes their logo right on the button. So shill much? No, because it's their gun. It does have ambidextrous safety and an enlarged slide release, which is very nice. You don't have to completely remove your finger from the trigger to actuate the slide release, which is super nice. Overall, externally, it's super stylish. Now, some of the biggest features that make this Vanguard Hi-Capa a modern Hi-Capa are going to be the threaded barrel for an addition of a suppressor or obviously a tracer unit. It does have a fiber optic front sight with just plain white dot rear sight, which is an interesting combination. To each their own though. And obviously this model is coming with the optics plate, which is actually very well done. It's actually dug into the slide a little bit, which brings the optic a little bit lower, so your height over bore for your optic is a little bit more lower profile, but overall I think it's really nice. On this particular model, we did just add a Lancer Tactical RMR style optic. They didn't send us a model with their optic. What the hell, Arcturus? You don't trust me? Think I'm gonna break it? Personal opinions of the Vanguard 4.3 Hi-Capa. I am actually surprised not to see any window cuts. You already did these aggressive lightning cuts to reduce the weight. Why not reduce the weight a little bit more? Window cuts on the sides here, and then the slide on top is angularly cut. You could have windowed that out as well to make it look like it was ported. I don't see why not, Arcturus, but you know, that's your personal opinion. It's wrong. Add window cuts for everyone. Thank you. And something I didn't notice is that it doesn't have a flared magwell also. It's just the grip magwell, which is boxy. I mean, it's not bad, it's standard, but I would have liked to have seen a flared magwell, considering there are a lot of airsoft manufacturers or companies coming out with Hi-Capas with a flared magwell. It's just an added bonus. Maybe it was to reduce the cost, I don't know. One gripe is, why did you put your logo everywhere? The magazine release is your logo. On the right side of the slide, your logo. On the left side of the slide, Arcturus Tactical. When did you add tactical to your name? So as I said earlier, the grip is gonna be a little bit slimmer compared to a standard stock TM Hi-Capa, which is very nice in my opinion. Again, I have small fingers, so my hand can wrap around the grip really nicely. For the slide, ooh, it's buttery. That's really smooth. And the trigger is actually really light compared to like a stock TM trigger. I don't know the exact pull weight on it, but it is noticeably lighter. And when we do our shooting test, I'm fairly sure you're gonna be able to see that you could spam the hell out of this trigger. But overall, first impressions of the Vanguard Hi-Capa is pretty clean. One thing that the airsoft community must know, is the Vanguard Hi-Capa TM compatible? Yes, it is. And we actually did a lot of testing to find out what is what. Now, Arcturus does have upgraded internal parts compared to a stock Tokyo Marui, which I'm going to list in detail here. And all of these parts can be swapped out with Marui spec internal parts, okay? Now, I said Marui spec. If you were to try to throw in another airsoft manufacturer like Masterpiece or API or Atlas Custom Works, it may require a little bit of fitment, okay? Keep that in mind. But overall, the Arcturus Vanguard is Tokyo Marui spec. Now to list the parts. We do have a steel hammer, a steel sear, a steel striker, steel trigger cutoff, steel striker reset. The slide catch is actually made of steel. The safety levers are made of steel. The grip safety lever is made of steel, and the trigger itself is made of steel. Those are actually really good parts to have steel, because those are going to be the most moving parts. So having it made of steel is going to increase its durability and longevity in your airsoft gun, which is super nice. One caveat to the Arcturus Vanguard Hi-Capa is that the outer barrel and hop-up unit were made for each other. They're not standard Marui spec. However, if you wanted to swap out the hop-up unit and outer barrel at the same time, they will fit in the Vanguard. But if you try to change one of those parts and use the Vanguard stock part, it will not be compatible with each other. So keep that in mind. The Arcturus Vanguard 4.3 Hi-Capa is chronoing in at about 290 to 310 feet per second with a .20 gram BB and green gas. And a rate of fire of, it's semi. 1, 2, maybe 3 if you're fast. I don't know, it's semi. Now, to absolutely test the Vanguard Hi-Capa, we created the best controlled environment to test its accuracy, which was our warehouse. We set up a target which was 16.8 meters away, which is roughly 55 feet, which is ideal engagement distance for a pistol. If you're trying to shoot 100 feet with your pistol, there's something wrong with you. Get help. We took 10 shots per target, and we'll start off with the Tokyo Marui. With the Tokyo Marui, we had a max spread of 7.5 inches with a max vertical spread of 7 inches and a max horizontal spread of 6 inches. Now, a consistent grouping was calculated up here to be 1.75 inches, which is actually really good. That's about a $50, a little larger than a $50 size. Again, at about 55 feet, this was expected. This is the gold standard, right? But how did the Arcturus compare? And surprisingly, it was actually very similar. For Arcturus, we did have a maximum vertical spread of 8 inches, which was the overall large spread of the Vanguard. From left to right, horizontal, it was 1.75 inches, which was considerably much smaller than Tokyo Marui, which is very nice. It did have an overall consistent spread of 2.5 inches, which is slightly larger compared to Tokyo Marui, but overall the results are very similar. Comparing Arcturus with Tokyo Marui, the accuracy readings were actually very similar, which is good to see. So like I said, our accuracy test was in the most controlled environment that we could create. In an uncontrolled environment, we found a maximum effective range of about 130 feet with a 0.25 gram BB. We found 0.25 gram being the sweet spot, maximizing its effective range and muzzle velocity without reducing its range, right? So we did test with heavyweight BBs, and even with the hop up cranked all the way on, we found that the accuracy did improve, but it was traveling very slow and was still dropping prematurely. So we found 0.25s was the go-to weight. Oh God, 130 feet it's so short. Oh God, the range sucks. Guys, it's a pistol. It is a gas blowback pistol. The barrel length is literally this long, okay? What do you want? Huh? You want more range, more accuracy? Get a rifle. All right, now talk about gas efficiency. We compared the Arcturus Vanguard magazine to a stock Tokyo Marui 4.3 Hi-Capa magazine, and these tests are actually really interesting. So I'm gonna start off with Arcturus. We did 2 separate tests for both magazines. One at 75 degrees Fahrenheit, room temperature, and another controlled test where we stuck the magazines and the gas into a fridge for a couple hours. And the temperature it came out at was 55 degrees Fahrenheit, so super cold. Now, going on to the results. With the Arcturus mag, we were able to get 60 shots fired with slide lock before the magazine ran out of gas. So that's about 2 magazines worth of BBs on 1 fill of gas at room temperature. Super nice. The cold magazine, again 55 degrees, we were able to get 30 shots fired with slide lock before running out of gas. So, I mean, that's not bad. Honestly, at 55 degrees, that's really cold. And 1 magazine worth of gas with a slide lock is pretty impressive. But going over to Tokyo Marui, this is very surprising. So room temperature, 75 degrees for Tokyo Marui. We were able to get 57 shots of normal recoil with slide lock. But the magazine continued to fire at a partial cycle up to 117 shots fired. That's room temperature, 75 degrees. So what is that, 3, maybe 4 magazines worth of BBs? Not efficiently, but it was able to fire that many shots in total. But 2 slide locks, absolutely. And at the colder temperature of 55 degrees, the Tokyo Marui shot 30 rounds with a slide lock, but still had gas to continue firing a total of 80 shots at 55 degrees. So, I don't know, Tokyo Marui, that's a testament to them. That's that Japanese space magic there. Is the Arcturus magazine bad? No, absolutely not. Again, room temperature, we were able to get 60 BBs shot with 1 fill of gas with slide locks. And then at colder temperatures, we were able to get 30 rounds, 1 magazine on 1 fill of gas. So that's actually still very efficient considering the environment that we had it in. So good job, Arcturus. All right, guys, we gave you the hard facts. We did all the tests for science. What are my personal opinions on the Arcturus Vanguard Hi-Capa? It's nice. I think Arcturus did a great job, especially for their first iteration of a gas blowback pistol. As I said before, the grip is a little bit slimmer than stock Marui, which feels comfortable in the hand. The trigger is nice and light, which is very comfortable to shoot, and it having the flat face just feels nice on the finger and gives a nice reset overall. Even though there is the lack of window cuts on the slide, there is still aggressive lightning cuts, and with an optic on the slide, it's still very snappy. The slide reciprocates very fast, and the gas efficiency meets my standards. Overall, I think the Vanguard Hi-Capa is a solid choice. All right, after all the facts and all the testing and everything else we talked about, how much does the Vanguard Hi-Capa cost? Well, you can expect to find the entire Vanguard line on pre-order right now at airsoftgi.com for around the $200 price range. And in my opinion, I think this is a really good bargain. As you saw from all the testing and with all the features that you get out of Vanguard, you're expecting a pre-upgraded Hi-Capa out of the box. It's going to have features that you would add on a stock TM Hi-Capa, like an enhanced slide catch, the optics plate, fiber optic front, threaded barrel, even a different grip, plus all of the steel internal parts. You're getting all of that for around $200. And I think that is one hell of a bargain. But is the Vanguard Hi-Capa quality? Nice. Yeah, no, I think it's good. I think it's solid. I think the quality's nice. All right, guys, thank you for tuning into our overview of the Arcturus Vanguard 4.3 Hi-Capa with optics plate. You can find the entire Vanguard line available at airsoftgi.com right now. So you can get yours right now. Well, it's on pre-order, but maybe you're watching this video in the future and it's available. So if you're watching it when this video is released, go pre-order it right now at airsoftgi.com. Take advantage of all the sales we got going on. This automatically qualifies for free shipping, which is fantastic. And you're getting a pre-upgraded Hi-Capa out of the box. Super nice. If you want to support the channel, make sure you subscribe for more content. Give us a thumbs up and let us know what you think about the Vanguard Hi-Capa in the comments below. Any engagement that you give us helps us beat the algorithm and show the world that Airsoft is a lot of fun. You can support the channel directly by going over to airsoftgi.com. Literally, pick up your Vanguard right now and other Airsoft goodies right now because you can. Keep the lights on. Feed us. I'm withering away. Please and thank you, guys. My name is Cisco. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace, y'all.